he sent me the script and said, look at this part. And I called him back. I just told him, I want the lead role. It was the lead role that really grabbed me.
When you're looking at a script, can you give me some examples of, yeah, there's no way I'm ever going to do this? Like, what is it that a writer does, that really turns an actor off and makes them feel like this is untenable?
Just horrible dialogue. Like really on the nose, exposition filled dialogue. Like you can tell when somebody is early on writing. And that is one piece I feel like has helped inform my writing process, is because as an actor you get pretty good with delivering dialogue that's clunky and crappy, and so you kind of put it in your brain to kind of go, all right, so if I'm writing this, if we're going to say this, and it kind of helps in that process as a writer. But that's one thing that's, when I'm reading a part, and I come across that, I just, those roll your eyes like, oh my God, so redundant information and just on the nose exposition, that kind of thing.
So give me an example of some on the nose exposition. What exactly do you mean?
When, gosh, let me see if I can come up with something, oh, hey there, Mike, it's so great to see you, since I haven't seen you in a week and a half when I saw you at the other, just like redundant information that's like, hey, I need to put the character's name in here, so I got to throw it out. Right? You got to find easier ways or better ways to kind of, release information.
Okay.
In my opinion. And as an actor, when I come at that, I also try to, fill out the production side of it and whether or not they are open to suggestions, because sometimes they're not. Sometimes it's like, I wrote what's on the page, say what's on the page, period. And I'm like, oh, okay. and then at that point, you're drawing a paycheck and that's your job. So do it.
Talk about some scripts that you've read that, you've really connected to. What is it in the ink on paper that makes you connect?
The best way to describe it is the character arc, right? Where does a person come from and where do they get to in their mental, physical, emotional, spiritual journey? And I think that's the biggest thing that attracts me. I read this one script that was originally called Elbow Grease. Jason Shirley, I believe he was in your class or somewhere close to you, a year or two behind you, maybe.
Yeah, he was after me. Yeah.
He sent me the script and said, look at this part. And I called him back afterwards, and that part was fun and kind of funny or whatever. But I really attached. I just told him, I want the lead role. It was the lead role that really grabbed me, and I had to jump through some hoops. I told him, I was like, look, man, put your boxing gloves on because I'm coming for it. Right. And that's the one that I really attached to. So
what was it about that role that really connected with you? That
one was a kind of a Southern dramedy. I grew up in the South, small town. I knew people like this, families like this, and it was about this family that was going through ins and outs and ups and downs, financially, and he was owned his own business, and there was a lot of personal connection, from kind of owning my own business and the financial ups and downs of that, and everything. So there was that kind of connection.
Would you say it's more of an emotional connection to a character?
Yeah, and the arc, the character arc was good, but the biggest thing for me was it was these characters kind of button heads, but they worked it out, right? Just the way they worked it out, it was kind of this Southern dramedy, right? There was some funny stuff to it because of, but it didn't, there's a lot of scripts, especially set in the South, that aren't by Southerners that tend to really turn up stereotypes.
Right.
And when I approach a script as an actor, I always try to look at, the realness of the character, right? There are people in this world that are truly like this. And how do you honor and pay homage to those people? And while not making fun of those people,
Hmm.
right? Of them, right? It's kind of the adage of, laugh with, not laugh at.
Right.
And
Authentic characters.
yes, and they just felt very authentic because he was a Southerner wrote it, and they just felt like very authentic.